In the small, forgotten town of Hollow Creek, a legend persists, a tale of a cursed house perched on the edge of a dense forest. Known as Hollow Manor, it has been abandoned for decades, left to rot with its dark history hidden behind its crumbling walls. The townspeople refuse to go near it, believing that anyone who steps inside never returns. The story begins with Sarah, a young urban archaeologist with a passion for uncovering hidden histories. After the recent death of her mother, Sarah is looking for a way to distract herself and find solace in work. While researching historical records at a local library, she comes across the story of Hollow Manor and becomes fascinated. She learns that it was once home to the wealthy and enigmatic Hollow family, who mysteriously vanished in the early 1900s. Rumors of strange occurrences and inexplicable deaths surround the house, and it was eventually abandoned after a string of disappearances in the town. Intrigued, Sarah decides to visit Hollow Creek. Despite the town's eerie atmosphere and the warnings from the locals, she is determined to explore Hollow Manor. She rents a small cabin on the outskirts of town and sets out to investigate the property. On her first day in town, Sarah meets a man named Tom, a local historian who has spent his entire life in Hollow Creek. He warns her that the house is cursed and tells her about the strange lights that sometimes appear in the windows at night. Despite the house being abandoned, he shares the town's dark folklore, stories of ghostly apparitions, strange voices, and malevolent spirits. But Sarah dismisses his warnings as superstition, determined to uncover the truth behind the Hollow family's disappearance. The next day, Sarah heads to the manor. The house is overgrown with ivy, its windows broken, and the air around it feels thick and oppressive. As she steps inside, the temperature drops sharply, and she feels an overwhelming sense of being watched. She shakes off her unease and begins exploring the house, documenting everything with her camera. The house is filled with remnants of the past, old furniture covered in dust, faded portraits, and personal belongings left behind. As she makes her way through the dark, creaking hallways, she begins to hear faint whispers. At first, she thinks it's the wind, but the voices grow louder, calling her name. Panicking, she rushes to leave but finds the front door locked, though she hadn't touched it. After several moments of frantic tugging, it finally gives way, and she stumbles outside, shaken but determined to continue her investigation. That night, in her cabin, Sarah reviews the footage she took inside the house. To her horror, she sees shadowy figures moving in the background of the videos, though she was alone when she filmed them. She hears the whispers again, clearer this time, repeating her name over and over.